And with that report, what a perfect day for new Knicks GM Scott Perry to be joining us. Now, Scott, we're very well aware of the tampering rules, so we know that you're sort of limited in what you can say. But give us your immediate reaction upon hearing the report that Kyrie wanted to be traded or asked for a trade out of the Cavs.
Well, again, and you just mentioned it in your lead, it's nothing that I can really comment on and can't really share an emotion or an opinion on that right now, so we'll just have to see what plays out going forward.
Well, and not that you need help because you're obviously very, well-schooled and you've been at this for a long time, but FYI, Kyrie and Tristan Thompson for Carmelo and Porzingis, that works in our trade machine. In case, just throwing it out there, if you needed any kind of, help with scenarios and whatnot, so.
I love this nervous laughter of yours.
No. It sounds like we probably should switch chairs. Is probably what we should do.
Now, in looking forward, one of the situations you have to deal with right now is obviously Carmelo Anthony. There's a report out that he is willing to waive his trade kicker, perhaps as more incentive to get you guys to deal him to Houston or perhaps even Cleveland. But just tell us right now, where do things stand in terms of your relationship with Carmelo Anthony?
We're just continuing to have dialogue with he and his people and his representatives, and we'll continue to do so. And like we've said since I've been here, and Steve has continued to say, if there's something that will make sense for both sides, then we'll look at it. If it doesn't, then we won't.
When's the last time you talked to Melo?
I don't want to get into sharing the intimacies of our process, but in terms of that. But again, like I said, we're in communication, with he and his group.
Well, there's no shortage of sources or reports coming out of New York. One of them was that you guys had put that whole process on pause, that you wanted to maybe reassess and talk to him and see whether or not you brought him back before moving on with trade talks. How would you characterize the situation? Is it active? Is it still, ongoing in terms of discussions? Or have you guys just kind of stepped back and said, we'll revisit this later on down the road? Because it seems like, by all accounts, he's already got his mind made up that he wants out. What's your mentality as it relates to how active these trade talks are?
No, again, there's a lot of time in front of us right now, and like I said, we're just going to continue to do our due diligence and keep the lines of communication open with all sides involved, and it will take its natural course.
Now, the other situation is with Kristaps Porzingis. Obviously, there was a lot of reports about his sort of negative feelings toward the Knicks organization, given that he skipped out on Phil Jackson's exit meeting. And the two sides, as in the Knicks and his camp, seem to have some very sparse dialogue, if you will. Where do things stand in terms of your relationship or the Knicks' relationship with Kristaps Porzingis?
Oh, again, there's nothing I can look back on, and so it's hard for me to comment anything on that. I'm looking forward, obviously excited about the opportunity to get a chance to work with someone like Kristaps and continue to watch him grow and develop as a player, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
Scott, I've known you a long time, back from your days in Detroit, and when your name first began getting associated with the Knicks job, I thought I had a little bit of mixed feelings because while you certainly deserve the opportunity, New York has been known for a certain level of dysfunction. A lot of that dysfunction has been perpetuated by the owner in James Dolan. So did you have any reservations about taking this job, given how James Dolan's relationship has been with his management structure in the past and the lack of success?
No, I really did not. Again, Steve Mills, who I worked with very closely with during this process, I have a lot of trust and faith in him. The organization has been very welcoming of me. I'm very confident in who I am as a person. I'm confident in the vision that's been set here, and feel really good about having the narrative about the New York Knicks be a positive one going forward in terms of whether it be functionality, whether it be the ability to attract players here in the future. I just really feel good about the situation. And again, when you talk about New York City, there's not a better city in the world, and I'm just excited to be a part of it and excited to take on the challenge again and making this a special franchise again.
I know it's still early, but what have your interactions with James Dolan been like?
I have not met with him yet, but I'm looking forward to that.
You had not met with him since you took the job, you mean?
Yes.
Got you. But you obviously met with him before you took the job.
No, I've dealt very closely with Steve Mills throughout the process.
Oh, it's really just been Steve.
So it's a big situation, but yes, it has.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what's that relationship like with Steve? Because another reservation on some outsiders' part was that, well, is this a promotion to GM, but really it's Steve Mills and the same old guard making the decisions? In other words, how much autonomy and authority will you actually have given that Steve Mills is still the president?
Steve and I are going to work very closely on this. Steve has hired me to come in here and really assess the basketball operation, put my imprint and stamp on a number of things here. We're going to do everything together and collaboratively. So I'm excited about that. I think it's a great personal opportunity for me, but I think it's a great opportunity for both he and I. We get along great. We have not only a good professional relationship, but a good friendship as well. And I'm just excited about helping him. He's a native New Yorker, and helping him really get this New York Knicks franchise back where it belongs.